Hello and welcome. My name is Fiona. I am an international psychic, energetics coach, teacher, and best-selling author. So my title today was Why We Quit and How to Change That. And it's a touch and go subject for a lot of people because the main reason, and I'm just going to drop the big nugget now, the reason we quit while we're ahead is because it's safer. We think there is a sense of safety, or our nervous system believes there's a sense of safety quitting now while we are ahead. And over time, with continuous quitting, it's not really safe. We don't get anywhere, and then we get stuck. And it is a situation of our nervous system and feeling safe and doing hard things. I love that book, Do the Hard Things. I read it a half dozen times, love it. And it's so true. So I want to share today why we quit, where we quit, and how to change it. And I've tried to break it down into four key steps for the energy, the flow of achieving goals, any goal. So the first one is dream. Just sit and dream. And usually, if you book a guidance call with me, the first thing I'll say is, what is your future perfect? What are you even aiming for? Why are we sitting here and talking today? There's got to be a reason. And if you can't even communicate to me what you want to move towards, then I send you back to your mind mapping, your dreamscaping, and start dreaming about what is possible. Not what you don't want. I don't want to hear that. That we're not working with what you don't want. I want to work with and I want to help you. And you obviously want to live in a world of what you want as opposed to don't want. So it's a matter of just sitting down and dreaming. And for some people, this is tough because they've never really thought about what is possible or what I can do. Or if I woke up tomorrow, what would my perfect day look like? What would I be wearing? What clothes would I be putting on? What would I be eating? How would I look? How would I think and feel? Would I be going to work? Would I be working on my own? Or am I independently wealthy? Do I have passive income? But sitting in that energy of dreaming. And I find a lot of people when they're moving towards goals, they might be moving towards goals that aren't even their own. Like they were brought up or they thought, well, I got to get the car, the career, the partner, the 2.5 kids and a white picket fence, but it really wasn't their dream to begin with. So the first step is dreaming. Then the next phase of my journey, it goes from dream to want. You have to want it. And I don't mean like a hunger, like not that, not like out of fear or like, oh my God, I have to achieve the. It's like a want, like you feel drawn, your whole being is like, that is me. I can see it, I can feel it, I can taste it. I am there. And it's that want it. And I usually, with people who book calls with me, or I'm doing readings, or even in my classes, I see a lot of people at the want it phase, like that precipice between the dream and like genuine want, and then transitioning into future self and doing the work. I've had people sit and pour out these beautiful dreams to me, and then I say, okay, there's some steps that you would need to take. It sounds like boundaries over here. You tell me a couple of things that you would need to change to get this and that. And if I get the typical, like, I don't know what to do, which is never true, it really is they don't know where to start. So there's overwhelm. So I always work with the nervous system. Each stage, there's a form of healing, like nervous system and releasing old beliefs. And there's healing throughout this entire process because we are stepping into something new, which means we need to let go of the old. So if you think achieving your goals or suddenly being confident to achieve your goals is like confidence comes in a course or confidence comes in a clearing session, you're batshit, you know what? No, that's delusional. That is complete delulu, wrong delulu. That's spiritual bypassing. Um, True confidence, true readiness to step into something is a series of choices and actions and decisions and being, and then you become confident. It's that is a whole other course. But I have a lot of people sit across from me pouring out these dreams. And then I say, okay, so it sounds like maybe tweaking this and gradually doing that. And they give me their plan and their ideas. And I say, okay, let's go with this. And they back out. They won't book any more sessions with me. And then I get like, oh no, I'm just not ready for it. I have too much on my plate and I'm just overwhelmed. And all I can think of is you just don't want to admit you're not willing to do the work. You're you are comfortable being in this state of chaos. And I do love people where they're at. I do get accused of, oh, Fiona, that's so cruel. But if you will sit with me and cry and be upset that you want something, and I get this in readings, they want to change, they want this kind of life, but I suggest maybe tweaking this, tweaking that, and doing more of this, and finding 20 minutes for yourself every other day, not even every day. I get pushback. You don't want to do it. And you're not choosing yourself. You're not choosing your future. And so when I talk about wanting it, it's the willingness to do the work, to maybe start thinking about, doing the hard things. And when I talk about doing the hard things, I'm saying telling a friend that you can't keep taking care of this and that, or just saying you're not available for people for this and that, or telling your family but after dinner, after the dishes, and then before bed, that 1 hour is my time to either read or develop or to walk on the treadmill or do a meditation, that is my time right now. And that's what I mean by want it. It's that drive, that pull, that healthy hunger, not desperation, that healthy hunger. And things that trip it up is you get comfortable. You think it's safer to be where you're at in this pain. And it can cross into victim mode, victim mentality. And I do have compassion for that. I have been there myself. You can see him bringing up my throat chakra there. I've been there myself and I've caught myself there. And oh my goodness, I actually know that pain. However, it's not somewhere you're meant to stay. And at some point, there we go. I think I might just be choking on saliva too. At some point, you need to choose differently. And if you genuinely want that future, that dream, start making small choices towards it. And that's where we move into the third step is acting and being like your future self that has already achieved whatever it is you desire. It could be a new career. It could be a new relationship. It could be living in a foreign country. It could be a new weight loss goal or a health goal. I know I'm going through a health transition. I was unwell for a few years. I caught a severe respiratory infection that knocked me out for 9 months. And then it took me a long time to get back on. And I'm now stepping into my new energy and new vitality. So it goals come in all shapes and forms, right? So this future energy, acting and being like your future self, you hear this a lot in manifestation groups and energy groups. They're like, just be your future self or um, act like it has already happened. And yes, that's true. Hmm. Um, I like to play on the 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 theme that I learned back. I at one point, believe it or not, I was studying to become a missionary. Didn't happen. But everybody would walk around with these bands with WW, WW, what would WWJD. What would Jesus do to help them with all their decisions? All these bracelets, like right, jelly bracelets. And I I thought that was cool. I thought that was like, yeah, that's a new way of like filtering because if our nervous system is shot, because it is at this point, because we're still healing, our nervous system is like learning um, to help put a new lens because our RAS system and our nervous system is filtering out. Um, we're probably still in fight or flight, so still filtering out the good stuff and putting in like fear-based. So I just pictured this beautiful bracelet that everybody would wear is like WWFSD. What would, or WWYFSD, what would your future self do? And approach your entire day like that. Like for my healthy future self, I get up and I have a small glass of water when I first wake up, and then I have a nutritious snack, and then I go to the gym, and then I come back, and then I have a healthy breakfast, and then I get ready. For me, waking up is a shower, and I have a whole morning routine down. And anytime I start to waver, I just sit down and what does my future self do that's already got this vitality or already at this fitness level? It's not necessarily weight for me. It's fitness. I want to be strong and fit and coordinated more. I filter my day through that. Like if I'm tired, like what would my future self do? Well, she would evaluate. Like, is it a hunger, hydration, or have I been waking up early? Do I need a quick nap? So when it comes to our goals, if it's to save money and you have a financial decision to make, you would sit down and say, what would my future self do in this situation? Would they panic? Would they call someone? Would they rearrange? What would they do? Because right now you're not fully at that level yet. You're still dealing with stuff, and that's fair. That's fair. You're not there yet, so bring that new lens in. And it's during this phase people quit because they're not seeing results fast enough because we are this uh, uh, quick culture, quick fix culture. Um, People promising, you do this online course and suddenly you can do X, Y, and Z, or book a clearing with me and you're free of all your ancestral stuff. Sorry. People actually fall for that. I always say to people, it's more than one session, bud, because you got layers. We're more than just an onion. We're like this mega onion. We got layers. We got stuff to work on, but you can learn stuff and go work on yourself and then, check in with someone once in a while. But there is no miracle shifting cure with energy. There's layers, there's up levelings, there's releasings, but there's always stuff there. You turn on the TV, you see stuff. You have relationships, you have interactions with people, you pick up stuff, right? So in this phase, this is where we're being challenged to be different. We've gotten through the want it and we finally made the plunge and the commitment. We bought the fitness gear or bought all the craft supplies. I am neurospicy. And and then we start a couple of days of being, we're going to follow all these plans, and then you fall off the wagon. And the biggest thing is because you're not sitting in the energy of future self you. And that brings a lot of comfort. It brings grace to the fact that you don't have your act together still. And that's okay. Mistakes are lessons that our future self will have encountered. It also takes away the mindset that the path is going to be easy by, I know there's going to be birthdays. I know there's going to be pool parties. I know there's going to be stuff, events, there's going to be nights I'm too tired to make dinner. So I'm going to have to eat right. Days I'm tired or physically, like from a car accident, I'll have flare-ups. My future self didn't give up. So maybe I'll just go for a walk. Maybe I will plan some frozen dinners in advance. because I know I will hit obstacles. So if we're sitting in the energy of our future self, it allows us to deal with obstacles and not throw in the towel. Simple as that. Like I always hear this, especially as a reader. Um, when I was at the psychic fairs, it's like I just started saving money and I got my act together and the whole world fell apart financially and I just gave up. And all I could think of was if you had just stayed in your future self energy, you would have still had the world blow up. It happens. But how you managed it and perceived it and the energy throughout, you could have had a different outcome. You may have had better solutions if we're sitting in our future self. So that's the third phase, being in our future self and doing the work, even more work, and not bypassing, you know. And I find the energy, the mentality of being in the energy of my future self, who's already achieved these goals, who has overcome the obstacles I have faced and the obstacles I will be facing in the future, and I have still come out on top. So that's a very important phase. And that's the phase once we're on the journey, that's usually the longest phase. The longest phase. The longest phase. And so it gets tiring. And so having that keystone, that touch point of future self and bringing that energy into the now makes life so much easier. And yeah, your nervous system is still tripping up. You know, I call it the BS meter saying, you're not there yet, Fiona. Seriously, what are you doing? Like, come on. And I just say, look, I don't have to fake. I'll be like, I get it. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. And this could be like I'm currently learning another language. So it's the same thing, you know, practicing and getting better at it. Um, I also have creative pursuits, personal creative pursuits that I'm absolutely crap at right now, but I get so much joy when I'm doing them that I will get better. I will get better bit by bit because my future self can do what I'm working on right now and do much better. So that's the longest phase. And we get deterred so easily in there. We might quit while we're ahead because it's a long phase, you know, like with my health journey, I would love to take a quick fix and boom, be there in a couple of months. But it's not I don't need that. I don't need that because there's drawbacks. There's a lot of drawbacks. I don't want a quick fix. I know a quick fix isn't healthy nor sustainable, right? So it's I don't kid myself that this could be a few years. This could be a few years. Um, but I will feel progressively better over the next few years, which is awesome because when I look back to a few years prior, I'll be like, I remember how I felt that way. I remember when I couldn't even walk up the stairs. I was too exhausted. I couldn't even, like, even looking back now, the last few years, I couldn't walk. I couldn't even walk around the block because my lungs were absolutely shot from the infection, um, plus several other health issues. So I see progress in that. And so that's why I get so excited. And I genuinely believe this future self energy, this lens that we make decisions through and perceive the world through, even though they're rose tinted glasses, is much stronger than trying to go it hard and you know what you're doing and bullheadedness. Put on the glasses and sit in the energy, the frequency of your already successful self with the goal you're looking for. Because as an energetics coach and teacher, if you're calm and at ease, even with an obstacle, you can think more clearly and make better decisions and confident decisions, and you will probably come to better solutions than you would in a frantic or fighting resistance kind of state. Like, oh, this sucks. This is happening to me again. Really, me. You're not going to be in the right state of mind. You won't attract the right people. You just energetically, you might push away opportunities. Um, and so I've seen it. I have done readings across Canada and internationally, and I've worked with clients back to back for quite a while, and I can tell you that this is a real thing. This is a real thing. Quantum mechanics 101, right, guys? Like it's quantum, like you're gonna push, you're gonna be angry, you're gonna push. Where if you have those glasses on, my future self did get through this and they still achieved their goal. So I just need to like pause, take a breath, and take my time with this. And again, this is where people cop out because it's either too long or they take the glasses off. The last phase is achieve it. You're like, why is she putting achieve it in the phase? Yeah, that's the fourth one is achieving it. And people tend to throw in the towel here and self-sabotage and go backwards. And when we get to the achieve it, I say choose a new goal. We with all because I do multidimensional readings, I do mediumship and channeling, all that fun stuff too. But I'm here today speaking to you from an energetics activation coach, energy, and teacher. Our life purpose changes as we grow and develop and expand and are curious. We're not here to do one thing. We're not. Our purpose changes as we change. And that's awesome. Like when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a teacher, a marine biologist, and I wanted to swim with the whales. And I was trying to figure out if I could also be a pirate in there as well, too. Those still aren't my goals. That isn't my purpose. The teacher kind of stuck. I have a great fondness for whales and no use for pirates. And marine biology, yeah, I'll watch tons of documentaries on that, but again, not an area I want to dive into. That was bad, Fiona. But we change. We change. My 7-year-old self is different from my age now. So our life purpose changes. Like even my purpose in high school, like I was studying to become a missionary or a nurse at one point. So healing and helping others with expansion. Again, I'm getting closer. But when we achieve our goal, we think, oh, yay, I just have to maintain, which is BS. This life is, there's always some kind of resistance, some kind of exploration, growth. The universe is always expanding. Why aren't we? So when you get to the achieve, choose something new. So with my health and wellness, once I get to a certain point, I will set a goal. Like I've got stuff in the back of my mind. I might take up trail running or I have my eye on rock climbing, which with my spinal issues may not be the best, but heck, I'll take a look. So I want to put something else on there, something else. And it's funny, I also have a severe fear of heights. So we'll see. We'll see, because I want to grow and expand and overcome some fears. So my future self might be a rock climber or just a very not so high rock climber. We'll see. So, when we're looking at our goals, why we quit is because we encounter resistance at one of the phases that we're just not stepping up for ourselves for one reason or another. There's always healing throughout. There's always healing throughout. You got to do your work on the side because you're releasing an old life, old set of beliefs, patterns, and stepping into a new one. I've given you some great golden nuggets so you can go play with, but I've given you at each stage why we quit. And I've also given you nuggets on how you can avoid that or at least just reconcile. Like it's going to be work, it's going to be tough, but not impossible. So, um, I just wanted to share that because that's been coming up a lot in readings as of late, and also my own journey as well. I have a lot to celebrate, and I know I have a ways to go, but I'm actually excited. I'm kind of gunning for it. So there you are. If you're curious about actually working with me or what's possible, I offer a 6-week live online class, Become an Intuitive, where we start working on safety, listening to your own voice, and building your confidence, building it, right? I don't wave a magic wand and suddenly you're confident. And I help you tune into your inner voice so that you can start your journey and create your own toolkit so you can help yourself get to where you want to be. So have a beautiful day. Thank you.